pesos. The date of award, 24th December 2024. For the 7th December 2024 general parliamentary elections, for reprinting of ballots for the eastern and western regions. Mr. Chairman, the first four are in relation to elections the Commission conducted in 2025. The last two relates to the reprinting of ballots for the 7th December 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections for the eastern and western regions. On Friday night, around 10 p.m. on 29th November 2024, the National Security drew the Commission's attention to a presidential ballot paper for the eastern region that had leaked. On Saturday, 30th November 2024, the Commission assessed it and concluded that it was consistent with the actual ballots. On Sunday, 1st December 2024, the Commission met with the political parties under the banner of IPAC, and the decision was taken that because the same printing house printed the presidential and parliamentary ballots for the western region and the parliamentary ballots for the eastern region, there should be a reprinting of the presidential and parliamentary ballot papers for the eastern and western regions. During the IPAC meeting, the EC and IPAC members agreed that the reprinting should be done by the following printing houses: Innolink, Back Press, and Arts Commercials Limited. After the meeting with the political parties, the EC held a press conference where Ghanaians were informed about the reprinting. On Monday, 2nd December 2024, the Commission wrote to the Central Tender Review Committee, the CTRC, for the reprinting of the ballots for the three printing houses who have been selected at the IPAC meeting. The Commission eventually informed the printers to begin the printing on the 2nd of December 2024. In view of the pending elections, the Commission proceeded to reprint that ballot for the western and eastern regions in the absence of a formal approval from the CTRC. If the Commission had not done that, there will be no elections in the presidential and parliamentary elections for the eastern and the western regions. On 24th December, the Central Tender Review Committee granted formal approval to the Commission's request on 2nd December 2024 for the reprinting of the ballots for the said regions due to a reported incidence of leakage of ballot paper. It is instructive to note that the CTRC in their response referred to the letter the Commission sent on the 2nd of December 2024. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, any supplementary question?
Indeed, yes, Mr. Chairman. Now, we have just informed this House that you ordered for the printing of the ballot papers that you referenced without receiving pro-approval from the PPA. And that amounted to breach of law, the procurement breach of the law, or breach of the procurement law. You agree with me? The question is that he agrees with me that that conduct amounts to a breach of the Procurement Act.
Well. Honorable members, please allow me to handle the House. I don't want these interjections.
You want to answer the question for him? Mr. Chairman.
Have you finished the question?
Oh, hold on. Mr. Chairman, please save me from my brothers. When I asked that the chairperson herself be here, they say no. He's capable of answering. Now he's answering, you are worried. He's answering the question, you are worried.
Honorable Dafiamapo, are you done with the question?
Yes, I've asked the question.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard the question.
Then you can go ahead to answer the question.
There was no breach of the procurement law. There was no breach. The commission wrote to the CTRC on 2nd December, and the elections were supposed to take place on 7th December. In the response by the CTRC, they indicated that we wrote to them on the 2nd of December. And before we printed the ballots, we wrote to the CTRC. So CTRC knew all the printing houses and the specific regions they were printing. So we didn't go to PPA. So it was only appropriate that when we had to redraw ballots for the eastern and central regions, we had to go back to the same organization that permitted us to engage these printing houses. So as far as we are concerned, there was no breach of the procurement law. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The chiefs on the judiciary serve as chiefs with the permission of the Judicial Council. I believe that because the Constitution wants to ensure that chieftaincy is insulated from politics, that is why members of parliament are not supposed to be chiefs, because the chiefs are supposed to be neutral, so to speak. And so if you become a politician and you want to become a chief, it would seem to me that the institution would be politicized. That probably is the reason why the Constitution does not permit it. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Mr. Chairman, a follow-up. My lady, will your answer be different if you find instances where chiefs who are also judges meet political heads, candidates, and they start talking, yes, Taiwuchi, we are with you, we'll make sure you win, and so on and so forth. Appearing before that judge, with that sense of neutrality still be there, I mean, the cloak would have been taken off him for the comments, some of these comments. Meanwhile, the chief probably is just looking for development for his people, but his comments, may be taken as a very weighty matter which would take him to the side of politics and remove the neutrality cover.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I believe that as a judge and a chief, you ought to be measured in your commentary on politics, especially in support of one group or the other. So I believe that the judges are able or should be able to be measured in their language. Thank you very much.
Who is those who have declared, right? It was more than those who were in the room. The reason being that there were some of my colleagues who were at committee meetings, some had traveled, some were indisposed, and apart from, therefore, they actually sent in their excuse. And there were others who, I would say, have not declared and therefore are not on our books. But they have indicated, about 5, I can talk of about 5, who have indicated that it's a 50-50 thing for them. 50-50, 50 is in the camp of the Dahomey. The other 50, they are not too sure. But then they all go on to say that they are urgent towards Dr. Dahomey. For me, tomorrow I'll be hitting the ground. I'll be in my constituency. I will start my community engagements with my constituents to go and sell Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and sell the party and sell the decisions that came out of National Council so that we prepare for our national conference on the 19th of July at Legon Stadium. And then also prepare for the 31st of January 2026, which was the date which has been fixed by National Council. And I want to stress that the date was not decided by the General Secretary. The date was not decided by the National Executive. the date was decided by National Council. Those who have declared support and on our books or have put their names down as having convincingly convinced themselves that they are supporting Dr. Bamudu Bawumia is about 65.
Maybe in here and 65 years, a milestone. Now, me and many can say, we need to be on the other platforms. I'm a party for them. Yes, you say 6,000, but you say we need more seats. We try a draw more man, woman, someone. Na mi say, makuma swadi biya mo pe. Say mo person in Japan. And then you did this country, we shall come to pass. And he said, "Me and Yami Ashishano. Any part of any dream say, to be a dream, Maleno. They should believe in me, sir. You can do it. Let me, I am Amagana Asasa. You can do it more. Now, we have some money at Dopra Amania. And just have more confidence in me. And I'll never disappoint you. I see, said Dana, there was one problem. Now, problem, and your brofo and your solve. And your brofo and your solve problem. And the Obia, or your pragmatic, Obia, and your book, Betty, as smelling money, baby, why do I say that? And Sassi, baby, I away. Betty, and Yaya, Ama, and Rantan, Mama, away. Then Yaya, to one, you come. Only knew how to turn it around. If you give me opportunity, I'll turn it around to change this
as visit from our members of Parliament. I think that it was a very happy visit. It was a courtesy call, and it's a call to declare support for me. And I am so happy in terms of the group that have declared support for me from Parliament. Now amounts to just over 60 members of Parliament. And you know we have 88 members of Parliament. And so that tells you that a very significant number of members of Parliament have declared their support for me. I just want to use this opportunity to thank all of them. The leader of the group here is Amprachum, who coordinated this, the MP for Mampong. And I believe that this is going to be very, very important because the members of Parliament, as you know, control the constituencies to a large extent. And I'm very, very happy for exactly what they have done today. It's a strong show of support, and I thank them and I thank God for this strong show of support. And off we go. There's a lot of hard work to be done so that we can help the party and help the country.
Then what are the criteria for an MPA? And then somebody asked, what is the difference between an MPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement, and a plea bargain? A non-prosecution agreement is an aspect of the plea bargain. A plea bargain is simply a negotiation between the prosecutor and a person suspected of the commission of a crime, okay, that may turn out to achieve a number of objectives. Okay, so sometimes you drop the charges in exchange for the payment of a fine or a penalty. Sometimes you drop the charges so that that person will serve as a witness, and because the person was proximate to the commission of the crime, they will have information that is compelling enough to prove your charges for you. All right, so we do plea bargaining, And one of the outcomes of a plea bargain may be an NPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement. Okay, so that means that when we sign the non-prosecution agreement, we usually would immunize that person, grant that person indemnity from prosecution on certain conditions, or sometimes unconditionally. Okay, so it is guided by some considerations in the context of the prosecution itself or the criminal justice system. And by the way, in Ghana we have the Plea Bargain Act, which is an amendment to Act 30 that allows the Attorney General to enter into a plea deal. And by the way, just by way of public information, I have never, okay, and I want to repeat that, I have never approached anybody who is under prosecution now or who will be prosecuted for a plea deal. I've seen on social media allegations that I charge someone and then subsequently I'm asking the person for a plea deal. I'm always in my office quietly and they send people to come to me and then seek audience as to whether I am amenable to a plea deal. All right, and until such a time that we achieve the plea deal, we normally don't announce it to the public. So that is what a bargain is, and then the NPA can be a result. That is, the non-prosecution agreement can be the result of plea negotiations.
There are other, cases. So the oral report had, I think, 33 cases. I can tell you on authority that right now we are running over 50 cases.
Way beyond what the committee said.
Yeah, because every day people are bringing new, there's whistleblowing going on. People are bringing new evidence, complaints, and I can tell you Ghanaians are really, you were right when you said that the oral is the ultimate determinant of what will happen in 2020, because Ghanaians are really determined to get accountability. And every day, someone walks into the Attorney General office. Some come with lawyers, others come alone, and they have documents making complaints every day. So the number is actually increasing. Now,
against former government officials?
Yeah, against former government officials. Then,
are some of them known elements within the former government themselves, or associates and affiliates of the MPP, or these are neutrals?
Well, some of them are neutrals, but most of them are government officials. And
so a part of the previous
government. Yeah, previous government.
And they themselves are coming forward with information against the government they were part of.
No, you mean the complainants?
Those come forward, yeah.
Oh, no. So far, I have not, I would have to speak with my boss, but I have not personally, no one who is a minister of the previous, government.
Or even a low-level government official.
Oh, yeah, in terms of low-level government officials. Yeah.
They were in the government.
Yeah, appointees, appointees. Some of them have come out to
come forward.
Yeah, come forward.
Former appointees, not the ministers, but generally are coming forward with information against their own former government.
Yeah, exactly. They are coming out with information against their own former colleagues. Some are high up.
Following the COVID-19 pandemic, the mission adopted a full online mailing system for visa and passport dispatch. Again, this was managed by Mr. Fred Kwarteng. Under this arrangement, applicants were offered delivery options via FedEx and USPS, for which they were charged a whopping $29.75 United States dollars each. Additionally, Mr. Kwarteng's company, GTC, also introduced a new service where he invited applicants to come for assistance in completing visa and passport forms, where he charged them between 60 and 100 United States dollars per applicant. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that 99% of all applicants utilize the services of GTC, meaning 99% of all applicants paid an extra, unauthorized, illegal, a figure not approved by this House under our fees and charges law, between $29 and $100. Mr. Speaker, investigations conducted by the top management of our ministry reveals that GTC dispatched between 150 to 350 visas and passports daily. Therefore, on average, about 250 visas and passports were dispatched daily by GTC. Right Honourable Speaker, this implies that yearly GTC dispatched approximately 62,500 visas and passports. Mr. Fred Kwarteng was therefore raking an estimated $1,859,375 United States dollars annually for courier services alone. Mr. Speaker, you can comprehend the substantial sum he earns annually after adding fees for assisting applicants in completing their visa and passport forms, for which he charged between $60 and $100. By conservative analysis, Mr. Fred Kwarteng made about $4.8 million annually from his unlawful enterprise.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. It's Monday, the 23rd of June, 2025, and by the directive principles of state policy, we gathered again here to look at the updates of the nation, Ghana. My name is Ania Fampofu. Let's go through the headlines as usual, and then later we'll get into the matters of the day with the guests who have met with us today. Let's start off with the Daily Graphic, and Daily Graphic says that the big one, boosting efficiency, reduce Supreme Court's workload. Justice Akar Bafo proposes. That's why you have to make way for ADR, you know. We are coming into the system. King Mswati begins state visit tomorrow. We also have Kumasi Airport City project takes off. Asante Hene calls for policies to attract local private capital. President Mahama appoints new ambassadors. The Daily Guide. Mahama appoints 15 new ambassadors, high commissioners. FBI cracks down on fraud boys. BOG sacks 100 staff. Japan slams MPP over grassroots neglect. Jampo OSP clash over Furiata SML raid. The Insight. Ghana rebukes Israeli ambassador over comments on Iran nuclear votes. Deputy Lands Minister rallies support of Ghanaians for greener future. The U.S. drive to war with Iran. NPP national executives are a bunch of misfits, political novices, ex-MP laments. Passport offices coming to Western North region and 5 other regions. Foreign Affairs Minister assures Suamang MP. The Herald. Christians, poor, Northerners and Zongo voters rejected Baumia, says Stephen Amwa, Kenya Japan's flag bearer campaigner. BOG terminates appointments after probationary period. Finance Minister sacks Ghana Development Bank Director after audit findings. Kasum Snari to Madrid, Ni Amasana Mwale to Brasilia, and then Kojo Bonsu to Beijing, as Mahama names 15 new ambassadors, high commissioners. Immigration Service warns public against fake recruitments. The Informer. As Ken, a Japan's boy, ventures into dangerous arena, Baumia warns against religious tribal politics. G-Tech vows to protect academic integrity. Ramadan's Rise saga, OSP grabs 4 over corruption. Galamsey fights. Repeal LI 2462, declare state of emergency. Civil society etal pressurize Mahama. Blame yourselves, not China, for Galamsey. Chinese ambassador tells Ghanaians. We have heard. We've heard, we'll blame ourselves. Hey. The Inquisitor. Infamous Baumia Salah rise. OSP charges 4 men. Night clubbing Yamutu as FBI scare hits Sakawa boys. Night clubbing Yamutu as FBI scare hits Sakawa boys. Sticker in uncouth politics. Gaff to recruit 12,000 youth in 4 years, Defense Minister. The Daily Statesman. Kenneth Japan urges MPP to confront internal challenges. Fitch B- upgrade masks a deeper crisis. BOG sacks 100 workers. Say no to divisive campaign. Baumia urges MPP members. Brian, I am for unity to power NPP to victory. The Metro Lens. BOG access over 100 employees hired in 2024. 57% of MPP supporters back Baumia for 2028. The page 3, you have the details, you can read there. Let's unite for victory. Brian Achampon's rallying cry for MPP in 2028. Police arrest Kaswa break-in robbery suspect in Agbogboshi. The Ghanaian publisher Baumia warns against divisive politics. Esiama sacks 100 BOG staff. Unity key to MPP's victory. MPP 2028 victory. Brian. OSP Jumpo trade accusations. Stay connected to the people. Minister charges MMDCEs. Ghanaian Times. $1 billion Ghana cedis to retool security agencies. President Mahama announces. Government earmarks 40 million Ghana cedis seed funding for fledgling public universities. Haruna Idrisu. Task force cracks down on illegal mining in central eastern regions. 2.5 million girls to receive HPV vaccine beginning September. GHS is the one warning, or sending this warning. Also, the Crusading Guide, the new Crusading Guide. OSP probes oil mafia. NPA asks to suspend oil companies over suspected corruption. Edugitamaklo yet to comply. We have a party to protect and rebrand for 2028. Coca to MPP. I am in for victory. Brian Achampong announces bid as MPP chairman shows support. President Mahama appoints, so these executives, where are they? Because they seem to be in every camp. President Mahama appoints a renowned Muslim cleric as Ghana's ambassador to Turkey. Bank of Ghana terminates appointments of over 100 staff hired in 2024. Paramount Chief of Seshi, Bekwai, constructs maternity baby clinic for Bekwai Health Center. The custodian. BOG sacks over 100 workers. We have to protect MPP, Coca to party supporters. Baumia condemns harmful religious and ethnic politics. Baumia preferred in MPP 2028 race. APL survey. Goil makes 84.7 million Ghana cedis profit after tax in 2024. The Daily Searchlight. Another corruption scheme to begin. In Kokon Kitinkite project, another corruption scheme to begin. It's a question. Cases of Mpox reach to 107 GHS. So other sub-headlines here, we have Trackers want government to fix huge holes on Wenchi to Wa Highway. Also, car powership, Ghana wins double honors at 7th HES Awards. Show Boys Foundation hands over 10 acres maize farm to Hangman SHS. The Daily Post. For Daily Post, President Mahama nominates 15 ambassadors to consuls of foreign missions. Security Services donate 1.02 million Ghana cedis to Mahama Care Fund. Nationwide crackdown. Ghana's anti-Galamsey task force intensifies operations. And then we also have, okay, that's it. Some pictures of the Galamsey sites of 2 demobilized excavators abandoned by the Bolton Galamseyers when the anti-Galamsey task force swooped down on them at the Potrase in Eastern region. Also, told to resume full operations by October. We'll be monitoring, the system and see what happens there as well. All right. That's it for the headlines this morning. We'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll introduce the guests.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate's Toothpaste. Wow. I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcates. Happy smile.
Unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ban uye denwa.
Oh, Mr. Yamfani come and me buru.
Mami doburo. Ni atele be ko bra. Mumi yamfani ko Dr. Ban ho.
Dr. Ban oya de.
Bra, se banu nompe mu adwuma sasabro slow. Dr. Ban oye.
Say ni me kona meka. Oh nompe mu nim di ono na ye expect nya zanfo no. O akra any Kumasi nompe mu expect yen kan kire.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kakalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Maybe this Sasso spray. Mr. Femi Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Tum preko.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukro in the Bomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Akleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Smart, smooth, interactive, and a built-in Android active panel. Made for modern work and home. For corporate clients and university students, enjoy top quality 10th generation Toshiba laptops built for performance, power, clarity, and speed, all in one desktop. At Mycom JA Computers, get a laptop for as low as 1,000 Ghana cedis. All products are imported from the USA with a 1-year warranty. Visit Mycom JA Computers today and elevate your tech.
Tucked between the vibrant energy of Accra and the scenic charm of the Kwabena Hills, our gated community offers the perfect blend of tranquility and accessibility. Welcome to Rehoboth Knightsbridge, where nature meets opportunity. Secure your future with fully serviced plots with well-tarred roads, reliable drainage systems, electricity and water. Build your dream home in a community that cares for your well-being and safety. Indulge in premium amenities that redefine luxury living: a swimming pool, tennis court, basketball court, sauna and steam in the iconic shopping mall, all within reach. It's more than just a space. It's your sanctuary in the city. Wake up to mountain views, take a jog under palm-lined paths, and experience the perfect balance of city access and natural beauty. Starting at just 450,000 cedis with flexible payment plans. Visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com or call or WhatsApp 024-476-4499 or 020-495-0810. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
The chiefs on the judiciary serve as chiefs with the permission of the Judicial Council. I believe that because the Constitution wants to ensure that chieftaincy is insulated from politics, that is why members of parliament are not supposed to be chiefs, because the chiefs are supposed to be neutral, so to speak. And so if you become a politician and you want to become a chief, it would seem to me that the institution would be politicized. That probably is the reason why the Constitution does not permit it. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Mr. Follow-up. My lady, will your answer be different if you find instances where chiefs who are also judges meet political heads, candidates, and they start talking, yes, we are with you, we'll make sure you win, and so on and so forth. Appearing before that judge, with that sense of neutrality still be there, I mean, the cloak would have been taken off him for the comments, some of these comments. Meanwhile, the chief probably, they're just looking for development for his people, but his comments, may be taken as a very weighty matter which would take him to the side of politics and remove the neutrality cover.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I believe that as a judge and a chief, you ought to be measured in your commentary on politics, especially in support of one group or the other. So I believe that the judges are able or should be able to be measured in their language.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you very much, leadership, for yielding to me. Mr. Speaker, first of all, let me congratulate my brother, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Damango, for putting together that statement. Mr. Speaker, I intend to adhere strictly to Article 93, Order 93.5. So I'm not going to go overboard. I have no intention of debating the statement. But Mr. Speaker, in today's world, in contemporary world politics and diplomacy, I want to let my brother know, my junior brother, that a lot of the issues he related to in the statement he espoused are very archaic. The world has moved. The world has moved from the Yempini days. The world that we live in today is about pragmatism. It's about what we can do and what ought to be done and what we need to do. And that is why I will not allow my brother, the Honorable Asafo-Adjei, to peddle untruths. He has no way and he has no evidence that Iran breached any of the Israeli anti-missiles. He has no proof. So we are not, and I will urge you, Mr. Speaker, to request Hansard to expunge that from the records. Mr. Speaker, the second thing that he needs to know, when two nations get into a tangle, any commonsensical thing to do is to look at the affected person. And so if the foreign minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, requests evacuation of Ghanaians from Iran, he's only being sensitive to what has to be done. Israel is busy showing might. They probably don't need any evacuation around that place.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana, and I already have the guests with me. One just had her video played, but I will introduce her later. Let me introduce Dr. Ikia Amwako, who also hasn't been on the platform for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, for a while.
Yes, yeah.
For a while. You're welcome. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning to you
I
and
hear,
everyone.
yes, I hear you were part of the committee members.
Oh yeah, for the constitutional amendment of the party.
Oh, okay. Okay. A lot of questions for you then.
Yes.
A lot of questions for you then.
I was very happy to serve on that.
You're very happy
to serve on that committee.
Are you happy about what you hear on the ground?
With regards to?
With regards to everything happening today.
Should we go into it already?
No. The answer, yes or no, are you?
Well, I think
or mixed feelings?
Mostly I am happy with the reaction, because most people, most fair-minded MPP people understand that this is a brilliant strategy for us to put our best foot forward for 2028.
Fair-minded people?
Most fair.
Those who don't agree are not fair-minded?
No, there's a lot of targeted criticism coming from a particular camp who has an interest. So obviously, that's expected.
A particular camp or particular camps?
A particular camp. I mean, funny enough, I know the sentiments of almost all the aspirants. Is one group that has taken a very entrenched position. And so a lot of the negativity is coming from there. I was in Kumasi just last weekend and the weekend, and when you listen to general party people, what they think about it, most of them are quite happy. Nobody's happy about everything that's going on. This is happening here, this is happening here. Something as simple as our chairman gets arrested, it also turns into another matter. Nobody's happy with all of that chaos. Everybody thinks that it's the wisest thing to bring that to an end as quickly as possible, because we are very serious about 2028, and so we need to think outside of the box to make that happen.
You're serious about 2028?
We're very serious about 2028.
We'll get into those issues, absolutely, later. But let me also introduce Member of Parliament for Salaga South constituency. Salaga South, she's been in the news for quite a while. So I went, knocking at her door. I'm like, ma'am, you're hiding. don't just speak on the floor. Just come and speak on Good Morning Ghana as well. So I managed to actually smoke her out of the hole, and she's here with us. I'm grateful that you came, Honorable. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Annie. Good morning to me.
But how do you see you're trending?
Ah, you mentioned that to me last night.
Yeah, you didn't know it.
I didn't know.
You have been trending since.
Really?
Yes, I think for about a week.
Really?
Yeah, for about a week now.
Really?
Because you seem to have taken on a lot of the diplomatic issues and the public, international matters that are coming up, and you seem to be interested in addressing it. So, it caught the eye or the attention of the public.
Oh, okay.
And
all
they
right.
thought that, oh, okay, we like this submission. I think fair-minded. Let me borrow her.
Yeah,
fair-minded people.
That's right.
So
that's
that you're
right.
making quite a good statement, with regard to all the matters that came up. Anyway, so you were also, in the, I think it was the, Ghana High Commission, London.
Yeah, that's
you were
right.
There as
I
minister
was
as
there
well.
at the mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how was that?
That was okay. It was quite an experience. I was the Minister Counselor for Information.
Yes.
And so my role typically was to showcase the mission, showcase Ghana, represent the mission wherever appropriate, and tell the story of Ghana. And so I found it as a very interesting experience. It also enabled me to, of course, relate with the international and diplomatic community. And I think that added to my general exposure and gave me a greater and better understanding of what diplomacy, international relations was all about.
Yeah.
So I think I came back home better than I went to London.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll get into that as well, because of course there are a lot of, maybe a black one will not sleep and giving us back-to-back information from the international world. So I'll ask you a few questions on that. But let's talk about your new role as ranking. Is it committee ranking for the committee for, is it profit?
Yes, I'm deputy ranking for the Office of Profit. That's where MPs who have businesses have to declare those to Parliament and seek Mr. Speaker's approval so they can carry on with their private businesses. So I'm deputy ranking on that committee. I'm vice chair of the Gender and the Social Welfare Committee, and then a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. I'm also a member of the Water and Sanitation Committees of Parliament.
The Gender and Social, it's not really a new committee, it's a committee of profits.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
So,
it's not exactly new. I mean, it was there in the 8th Parliament. I wasn't a member then.
Oh,
it's
really?
always been there, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
then I don't think I actually took note. I thought it was one of the committees that were captured in the new standing orders.
It's always been
So what
there.
exactly do they do, apart from the declaring of profits and...
Yes.
And what challenge is it supposed to solve?
It's, you in your intro, you said you had to smoke me out, and that I'm not only supposed to be making those statements on the floor of Parliament, but I'm paid to speak the way I spoke that day. I'm paid to work in Parliament, nowhere else. Do you understand? So members of Parliament are employees of the government of Ghana, and our work is to sit in Parliament and make laws. And that's why we are called the legislative arm of government. So if aside of that, you have any business that maybe you own or you work for, you need to declare that to the Speaker of Parliament for Speaker to give you approval to continue to work in that entity in addition to being a member of Parliament. Without Speaker's express approval, it will be seen as working outside of your role as a legislator.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Is it to solve the conflict of interest
interest issues, and also profits
making,
you know, as MPs, we need to do our tax clearance every 4 years when we go into re-election, or even when, for example, you catch the eye of the executive and you get into executive. Every quarter we need to file our tax returns. So the parliament has to be aware of all of these in order that you don't infringe on the...
Wow.
Yes.
So this a little slightly different from declaration of assets.
Oh yeah.
So for assets, you're declaring your assets.
Yes, yeah, you are declaring.
But in the profits, the committee of profits, you're declaring your source of revenue.
Exactly. And what work you do aside from being an MP. Actually, in the asset declaration form, there is a portion where you need to declare whether you are engaged in any other business. I mean, it indicates everything that you do. So if, for example, I sit here and I'm the managing director of Zuera Enterprise, and I don't declare that to Mr. Speaker to seek express approval, how do I capture that in the asset declaration as another job that I do apart from being an MP? Being an MP is supposed to be a full-time job. Yeah. So if you have any, but you find most of our colleagues who have businesses, they are mostly professionals. You know, you find them, they are architects who
some are doctors.
Some are doctors, lawyers. Yes. So they work in chambers or they work in some health facilities after Parliament. So they bring an application to Mr. Speaker, and then Mr. Speaker, the application comes through this committee, and then we forward it to Mr. Speaker. Once we've gone through all the rudimentary stuff that we need to do regarding the applicant and the application, we forward it to Mr. Speaker for his approval.
So what do you make of the discussions and the debates that we've had that politics should be made full-time job? So people are not necessarily divided into other, because sometimes we also make the argument that, oh, you know, politics is just politics. You can't call it a profession.
It cannot be just politics. It's a profession. And I have advocated severally. I'm actually a champion of the repeal of 78(1), where the president is enjoined to pick the majority of his ministers from Parliament. I think it defeats the work of Parliament. You know, as legislators, parliamentarians are supposed to provide oversight over the executive. So look at this scenario where you are a member of the executive. At the same time, you are a parliamentarian. How do you juggle those rules? How do you provide oversight over your own self? So I think, and I know, I'm hoping that the Constitutional Review Committee that His Excellency the President has set up will look at that provision of the Constitution and maybe repeal it. I am of the view that if you want to be a member of Parliament, a legislator, you must come in and be a legislator. It's a full-time job. It's a job that takes you, you know, you scarcely have time to do anything. So imagine adding additional responsibilities to that. I also believe that for those politicians who aspire to public office in the executive, they will also have a route through which to get into, to meet their aspirations in public office. If you belong to a political party, like my sister has been made a member of the MPP, you know, you have a route into the executive. And then you let legislators be legislators. What the current situation does is that it depletes Parliament sometimes of its best. A lot of the very good MPs, naturally they are the ones who will catch the eye of the executive. I mean, if you're an executive, you're looking for the best. So then once they leave, the work of Parliament suffers. Exactly. So we need to look at it very critically.
But you see, the danger of it too is that I'm suggesting something, but I'm also thinking the possible challenge that could arise. In Parliament, we have a variety of professionals, as you said.
Yeah.
We have architects, we have contractors, we have
lawyers,
doctors, we have nurses, we have lawyers.
Yeah.
We have it all. And, you know, once they are able to educate themselves to a certain level, they also help with the provision of value, the kind of value they bring to the table.
That's right.
And the kind of professionalism,
that's right,
you know, they present.
Yeah.
A lot of them, you know, sometimes when you even make statements, you have people in specific fields.
That's right.
Making those statements with regards to whatever occasion or event it is.
That's
Do
right.
you understand? So they also put something. So maybe we have probably talk larger than we're doing. In terms of the requirements, because the requirements has been a little too lax. Well, once you hit 40, you can go to Parliament, you know. And these are the people who make
it's not
laws.
40. You need to be 21.
Yeah, you need to be 21, yes. You need to, yes, it's president that's 40. You need to be 21. So, okay, with 21, what's your experience? What's your expertise? You're supposed to make laws to run the country.
Yes.
You know, we give no specifics.
So Annie, you've come back to the point that I was making. So imagine someone went to Parliament at 21.
21.
By the time they've completed their first term, they are 25. The next term, they are 26. They are growing. They are gaining experience. And then they are taken out and made minister. So you create a void. Now, the issue that you relate to, there is a cure for it. And the parliamentary committee system cures that dilemma where, yes, they are professionals, they are in parliament, they know it all, they have all the experience, and so maybe they are better off heading ministries, looking at policy issues, but they do better at committee level. At the committee level, we take into account people's background, people's interest, and committee level actually helps government, ministries, ministers to fashion policy. So they will not, their experience, their knowledge and everything will not be lost. They have another avenue to channel it through. But when you take them out, then they cannot even belong to those committees. Most of them who are ministers, we know them before they became ministers, heading and chairing as ranking members of very serious committees, now cannot chair. They are not ranked, they are ministers. And so the committee's work now impacts their work. And then the committee comes together as parliament and now oversees the work of the ministers. Imagine how we can provide effective oversight over our own colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the issue you talked about, even conflict of interest, is manifest today because we sit together. In parliament, we sit together. We become friends. We become more than friends. We become like family. And then they are minister. And then their issues come to the floor. You know, how are you supposed to handle that? But if they are not, and we come together, 276 of us, some are lawyers, some are doctors, some are engineers, communicators. We have more numbers of that outside of parliament that the executive can pick from. So this is something that I am hoping that the commission will look at and the president will give it a positive...
You've taken it up to the committee on the constitutional review?
Yeah, it's there. And I think we need to look at it. It is very critical.
Does it, did you capture the challenge that attrition rate also presents?
That is all part of it.
It's all part of it.
You know, I didn't want to go into politics, and so I left it there.
Okay.
Now, what happens is, for a lot of politicians, they have to catch the eye of the executive. And in their mind, it is by being an MP Sometimes it's even by just going to contest the election. Sometimes they go in, they know that they are not winning, but they come in just so that they are placed at that level. And then when appointments are being made, they are considered. So there is a lot of pressure on Parliament, and that accounts for the attrition rate. Everybody wants to be in Parliament, so it will give them an opportunity to become a minister or appointed to some state agency. Once we take that out, people make a decision
whether or not
to be MPs or they want to be politicians and belong to the executive. When we do that, Parliament will become the better for it, because the institutional memory, the sheer experience of, it takes a while actually to navigate all the little issues around Parliament. Sometimes by the time you are steeped in it and you can stand on your feet and actually say that, yes, I'm almost there, it takes more than one term.
It's probably already 4 years.
Exactly.
So I mean, this just hit my mind. I remember during Kufuor's time, there was the, I won't say argument, but there was a discussion around the extension of the first term of a government from 4 years, because almost all the parties were beginning to identify the challenge it presents. Once a party wins, before you know, it's 1 year. The 1 year is like all settling in trying to reset, do things and all. And then before you start your work, actual work and spending, you do that in the second year, sort of the third year. By third year, you are thinking of the next election that's coming. Nothing really sort of seemed to happen within the first term. So maybe your discussion at parliamentary level can be tied into what we're having at the executive level. Do you understand? So that it's in tandem. Because the high attrition rate in Parliament is quite a challenge. Very scary.
You just took the sail out of my wind, or the wind out of my sail, however it is said. But that is the crux of the matter. Parliament is become very, very, very lucrative because it gives you a foot, steps the right foot into executive. But when His Excellency President Kufuor made that statement, it was actually at the twilight of his presidency. I think as a human being, he reflected.
Yeah.
He remains one of the best presidents that this country has had. And he said he thought that this 4-year tenure was not enough. If we could have a 6-year tenure at every term, that will be more enduring and that will be more working towards politicians. I mean, as we are, we just said, oh, Kufuor wants to extend his term, but the guy was almost leaving. We drowned this thought in that debate.
There were varied suggestions. People said 5, others said 6, others even said 8.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you sit back today and you look at the benefits of the 92, that's 33 years we've been here. What can we count as the dividends of this 4-year term democracy? It's become increasingly clear that we need a longer period. You said after election, you put in together, you are looking at who to maintain, who to retain, how to appoint ministers. By the time all of that is done, it's 1 year gone. But we as politicians, especially those of us who go to the polls, on the day the election is declared, the results, 8th December, then campaign for the next election starts. That is the reality for us. So you campaigning around the clock, every day, every time. So there is no time to settle. There is no time to measure exactly what progress we've made within this time. So for the executive, yes, 1 year to set up, 2nd year to start off, 3rd year you are in campaign mode. Where are the dividends? And so if you listen to me that day in Parliament, I made reference to the United Kingdom, where in 15 years, they've had 7 prime ministers, and none of them has a legacy. None of them. One of them stayed in office for as short a period as 44 days. 44 days. How do you call this democracy? This cannot be democracy. This clearly is not what democracy was intended to be. This smacks of anarchy, disorder. So we need to begin to look at it. I'm hoping, I don't know whether it's part of what the Constitutional Review Committee is looking at, but a longer term, a 6-year term, I think is what will work for us. In that case, if a president is lucky and gets a second term, imagine the dividends that all of us will reap. Right. I mean, when was the last time elections were held in Rwanda? Mm-hmm. And yet Rwanda is the example of best practice in every facet of governance. Rwanda is a huge example.
Yeah, we're looking at what they are achieving.
Exactly.
We're not looking at the baseline of their progress.
And governance is about the people. It's about what you do to affect the lives of your people. So if the people are happy, that is it. The people, you go to Rwanda, the people are happy.
Maybe Libya is an exception.
So they are happy. They are happy.
Libyans were not happy.
Well,
with all they have.
Retrospectively, with hindsight, speak to the Libyans. They've regretted the Arab Spring.
Right.
They've regretted it. The life they had under Muammar Gaddafi, they don't have it today. So it's about affect, but this is all because we allow intrusion into our governance. Look, as a people, when you go to my constituency of Salaga South, and you move to Pandai, which is my immediate eastern neighbor, the dynamics are different. The people are different. Their needs, their aspirations are different. What they want to see in their leader is different from what I probably present to the people of Salaga South. Same when you cross the lake and go into Pro East constituency. They are different people. The demography is different. So governance is about the people. It's about what you do to make. So no one can sit, for example, in America or the UK and determine how we should be governed or how we should govern our people. What we do to make our people happy, to affect their lives directly every day, is what is governance.
Right. Right. Let me Ikea, you have a bite on this, right?
Not much. You know, just because of my political leanings and natural principles, when it comes to the right to self-determination, I'm very particular about it. Because sometimes as a leader, you can be doing everything right, but just that fatigue of being a leader for too long, I think that was one of the problems that affected us during the last election. So sometimes you have to allow time for people to sort of put you aside for a while because they are tired of you. Sometimes that is just enough reason. So it's on that basis that I would disagree with extending the term, especially to 6 years. That's a long time. If you look around the world, the average is about 4 or 5. I do, however, agree that we have to look at our systems of governance properly. I do agree that Parliament seems to take up all the good talent. When they get in there, they are not able to stay for long, and then they are out, and that's a big problem. I was even having a discussion recently with one of my colleagues about how the party structure loses a lot of the good talent to Parliament because everybody wants to go to Parliament. I mean, very few people want to contest for a women organizer position or a general secretary or a proper party position. They would all rather want to rush to Parliament. And I think my dear sister here has already explained the motivation for that because it's an easier route to get into the executive. So if we do take away that incentive, I do believe that we may be able to create a level playing field because I really believe in allowing people to grow in their roles. Even with our national structure elections coming up, I do believe you allow people to grow in their roles. After somebody has been in a particular job for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, even like yourself, Annie, I know you always complain that when you're not at the back, you don't get things the way you want. And you've been able to build that because you've been doing that for a long time. Even if you are sleeping and they wake you up, you would know how to run things. So I do believe that there's this tendency, as soon as somebody gets into Parliament and they are sworn in, there are like 10 people outside already planning on how to remove you. And that becomes a big issue. So the retention rate is low, and then we don't get the best out of the parliamentary process. It has changed from a house of debate to like a lobbying field to get into other jobs. So I do admit that if we remove that 30%, obviously still the president should be allowed to appoint some people from parliament, but creating that quota of 30%, I think, is problematic, and it's something that seems to enjoy unanimous approval across the aisle. So I'm hoping that the committee would have something to say on that. It doesn't mean the president cannot appoint from parliament still, but 30% is too much of a restriction. This is what I'll have to say.
Anyway, okay. So just a bit about parliament there and the work that they're doing. But in the meantime, still in parliament, issues came up last week. We had the foreign minister update the parliament about the fraudulent activities that he allegedly had been following. And the statement titled Briefing to Parliament by the Minister for Foreign Affairs on the temporary closure and subsequent reopening of the Ghana mission in Washington, D.C. I'll jump and read from here. It says, Mr. Speaker, a special team audit which I set up was made up of senior management of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They uncovered a complex web of corruption and compromised the integrity and efficiency of the embassy operations. Among the findings are the unlawful activities and conflict of interest involving one Mr. Fred Kwarteng and who was formerly employed on August 11th, 2017, according to our records at the ministry, as an information technology officer, and continue to work with the mission with the renewal of annual temporary appointments. So it also had emerged that Mr. Fred Kwarteng was not qualified to be employed as a local, as he thus poses the appropriate legal status to be employed in the USA. So additionally, the investigations revealed that Mr. Kwarteng is the owner and main operator of the Ghana Travel Consultant, the GTC, a company the company was later mysteriously contracted to provide exclusive courier handling of the mission effective January 1, 2023 by the former ambassador, Her Excellency Hajia Halima Mahama. Now, this is where Hajia Halima Mahama over the weekend, I think, granted an interview to Joy FM. I'll play that interview later, but let's have an excerpt of the foreign minister's statement on the floor. And then we'll come back into, the studio. As and when it's necessary, we'll play Halima's position on Hajia Halima. At the time, she was the ambassador at the time to the embassy. We'll play that later. But for now, the Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Following the COVID-19 pandemic, the mission adopted a full online mailing system for visa and passport dispatch. Again, this was managed by Mr. Fred Kwarteng. Under this arrangement, applicants were offered delivery options via FedEx and USPS, for which they were charged a whopping $29.75 United States dollars each. Additionally, Mr. Kwarteng's company, GTC, also introduced a new service where he invited applicants to come for assistance in completing visa and passport forms, where he charged them between 60 and 100 United States dollars per applicant. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that 99% of all applicants utilize the services of GTC, meaning 99% of all applicants paid an extra, unauthorized, illegal, a figure not approved by this House under our fees and charges law, between $29 and $100. Mr. Speaker, investigations conducted by the top management of our ministry reveals that GTC dispatched between 150 to 350 visas and passports daily. Therefore, on average, about 250 visas and passports were dispatched daily by GTC. Right, Honourable Speaker, this implies that yearly GTC dispatched approximately 62,500 visas and passports. Mr. Fred Kwarteng was therefore raking an estimated $1,859,375 United States dollars annually for courier services alone. Mr. Speaker, you can comprehend the substantial sum he earns annually after adding fees for assisting applicants in completing their visa and passport forms, for which he charged between $60 and $100. By conservative analysis, Mr. Fred Kwating made about $4.8 million annually from his unlawful enterprise.
Okay, so that's the Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa's statement on the floor. That's an excerpt of it. It was quite long. It was about an 8-page presentation, so quite filled with a lot of findings and information. However, the ambassador to the embassy at the time, Halima Mahama, I think I'll just play her interview so that we are on the same page on her position. She granted that interview to Joy, I think, over the weekend. So let's take a listen to her. Maybe subsequently we'll talk more about some of the things she said, so for her to explain further. But let's have this.
Well, I'm not sure he has exactly said that. I want to be fair to him. He has not exactly said that. But he did indicate in Parliament yesterday that I signed a contract with a Ghana Travel Consult, and it sought to legitimize palpable wrong. Those were his quotations. This conversation has been going on, but I've been in this game long, so I wasn't worried about it. But now that he's brought my name up in Parliament, it is time that I also speak up to it. And the part that you just played is so incorrect. We signed a contract with Fred's company. The company is called Ghana Travel Company. And we allowed the company to provide services to applicants, visa and passport applicants, by dispatching their passports to them. So it's like a courier service. And the contract is clear. I sent it to Joy FM to look at. That was the rule. And for him to also take full responsibility for any undeliverable package. We stated clearly in the contract that the company will not receive any payment. And Ghana embassy is indemnified. We don't take any, he takes responsibility for any losses or any misapplication. That was clear on the contract. So I gave that contract just to make clear that this is our position. He's been doing that. He's been mailing for the embassies since 2019. I observed the 2019, 2023. I said, look, where is the formal document? It's better to have a formal document so that when there is a problem, they don't hold Ghana responsible. I think it is his imagination, and I don't know how he calculated it. One, Ghana government does not engage in courier service. We don't take funds for it. We are not in that business. We don't engage courier service. We don't do courier services. We don't. So if we give a contract to somebody to engage in courier services, it's not as if we are taking the work that Ghana government should have done and given to somebody. Ghana embassy should have done and given to somebody. So it is false. So Ghana government does not provide courier service, and Ghana government does not benefit financially from any courier service. So he took the courier service and he engages the various companies, FedEx, UPS, and comes to terms with them about payment. As his company, he did engage, and they gave me a flat rate for every country, for every state, even from California to DC, 29.75 as he indicated. Whatever he gets, I don't go to look at it because it's not Ghana's government business.
Away from the courier services, let's look at the allegations that he diverted funds meant for the state when it comes to visa application processes.
Under my watch, there was no such things. How can you divert? Listen, when you apply for visa, you pay online. We don't receive cash. We don't receive check. So you pay online and it goes direct to Ghana, to the embassy's account for the visas. We have an account for that. It goes direct to that account. And the merchant services in this account will work on it and then post all the money into the Ghana account. So he has no access to our account. Oh. And we have auditors coming to check every year in Ghana. And no auditor has told us that there's any money diverted. But I'm saying, he says he wants to do an investigation. Let him do. And let's all hold him to the report of the investigation. It is not possible. The only money that he has access to is the money that is paid for the courier service. And that courier service, the embassy is not our work. We do not provide courier service. So whatever he's paid for, it is his money. For example, Ghana free education, free HS. We provide free HS. But government does not provide money for transportation of the child to the school. So you cannot say the money that the parents provided for transportation of the school is money that should have been government.
But the Foreign Affairs Minister is alleging that the system that you just outlined has been compromised. The reason why he had access to funds made for the state being diverted to his personal company. Are you open to an external audit?
I'm saying that every year, Auditor General Department comes to the embassy to audit. They don't joke with the U.S. embassy because it's a big embassy. So you can ask the auditors every year when they come to audit. And the Ministry of Foreign Staff, they come with the auditors. They come to audit every year. I'm saying we don't receive cash in any way. And he has no way. Control and Accountant Department, they have senior accountants managing the account in Washington on permanent term. They post them there, 2 senior accountants managing the account. Control and Accountant General will not even allow them to divert any money. And every time, and U.S., you cannot just come and siphon money. He would have been, I mean, you cannot just come and siphon money from any Ghana account. It's not possible. But I'm saying, he says he's going to conduct investigation. Let him do the investigation. And I want us to hold him to it so that people don't just come and say anything. Then after some months, it just goes on. He must do the investigation and come out with a report.
With all due respect,
So that was the interview with Halima Mahama, and we think that the information she also provided with GTC, there's still some more that she can give us, and we were hoping that we can get some more information from her. So we're trying to reach her. However, there was a letter as provided by the Foreign Minister as part of the investigations and their findings to Fred Kwarteng at the time. It was dated 19th of November 2019. 19th November 2019. It was a query. Yeah. And it said, yes, sir, it has come to the notice. This is the office writing a query. So it was an internal memo, I would say. It has come to our notice of management of the embassy that in September 2019, you modified the embassy's website to, in respect of visa, passport acquisition process without the necessary express approval. Okay, so that's what you have on your screen. We will explain why disciplinary, will you explain why disciplinary action should not be taken against you for taking the unilateral important decision? 3, your response should reach the undersigned notes later than close of work on Wednesday, November 2019. Okay, so it was signed by Genevieve Apalu, Mrs. Minister, Head of Chancery, and of course, corporate to Kwarteng. So that is the few updates that came. Now, the other information also that provided by the Minister is that when GTC was given this contract, it also contracted a third party. They were actually doing the work, not GTC. So it means that if I'm a Ghanaian and I'm having a contract with the embassy has a contract with a second party. The second party now has a contract with a third party. So that is the complex nature of how this whole thing is looking. However, I think our main concern is the monies that as a country we've lost.
Allegedly.
Yes, to a private person. So, you want to start or you want Ambassador?
Let the government in power start.
Okay, okay.
Really? The government out of power created them.
Yeah, so then I
situation.
Can respond to...
You know, because, you know, for me, I mean, my first training was administration. I did management studies at the University of Cape Coast. So I'm a person of procedure and I'm a person of systems. The system must work. This is the procedure. Why do we go against it? The query letter from the head of Chancery to Mr. Kwarteng on 19th November should have solved this problem. Look, a mission's website, you know what the High Commission is? The website is breached by a staff of the mission. At that time, they say he's an IT, he's the head of IT. That is basis for terminating his contract. We've seen the query letter. We haven't seen his response to the query. What exactly did he say to clear himself of this query that enabled him to continue in the same role, now graduated his activities to the point that we've lost so much money? Was it negligence? Was it our usual Ghana attitude and behavior of doing things because somebody is related to someone, they do no wrong, or as soon as you touch a staff, you start to receive telephone calls and you are told, please leave them alone, let them continue? Is that what happened there? We need to know. The ambassador, unfortunately, did not help matters much. She was in charge of the mission, and the head of Chancery reports to her. She claims that they signed the contract with GTC. Did she know at that time that Mr. Kwarteng was the owner virtually? Because that's what the minister's statement says. The current minister says Kwarteng virtually was the owner of GTC. Why would the head of IT be the same person providing courier services?
So it says that on the point 20, the investigation revealed that Fred Kwarteng's company GTC was initially jointly owned with his ex-wife, which raises additional questions about the nature of business relationship and potential conflict of interest.
I mean, you see, this report is so indicting that the ambassador, the former ambassador, Honorable Her Excellency Haji Alima, should be apologizing to the people of Ghana. She shouldn't seem to be explaining anything. Because if what we have in this statement from the minister is what really happened, then it means there was connivance. Kwarteng couldn't have gone this rogue without some accomplices.
Knowledge of the higher echelons of the office.
Within the mission or beyond the mission. And those are the issues we need to interrogate. Courier services. I worked in the UK, and the consular section, usually, they are the ones in charge of passports and visas. And of course, look at the United Kingdom. The consular service is sitting at Highgate, and somebody is applying for a passport from Ireland, for example, from Scotland. How do we get the passport to the applicant when the passport is issued? So we engage courier services. And these couriers only pick up the completed passports, or the passport, if it's a visa, the visa is issued and attached to the passport, and then is delivered to your doorstep. How do you mix that simple exercise with IT services? Why must that company be joined to the mission's website? That was a complete breach of the mission's website. compromising the data and activities of the mission in Washington.
Maybe on the blind side of the embassy itself.
So that is why I am interested in seeing the response to the query. And why Kwarteng then continued from that point,
from 2019
all the way to
2025.
Last month, when the Honorable Minister had to do what he did. Why did that happen? How did that happen? We need those answers. Was the query ignored? Did he just simply disregard the query? Did he respond and give cogent reasons why he had to attach the mission's website? And that was fine with the mission. Maybe Hajia and her head of chancery and head of consular services at that time should come and tell us how Kwarteng survived from November 2019 to June 2025. That is where my curiosity is, because clearly everything that happened was wrong. And for a mission, our first mission, when Ghana establishes a mission anywhere in the world, is to provide consular service. That is the first objective of setting up any mission. Consular service to Ghanaians and people interested in working with Ghana. That is number one. Before all the trade partnerships, the economic and the FDI, the first thing that a mission does, and for the reason why a mission is established, is to provide consular services to Ghanaians abroad. And so if Ghanaians cannot get this from the Washington mission, then the mission had serious questions to answer. The minister might have to, and now that the former ambassador herself has granted an interview, I think she has to be invited to explain. I wanted to say answer questions, but I think that's a little bit too harsh. She has to come and explain exactly what happened so that all of that is captured.
Yes, because she, in the interview, she's almost rubbished everything, every finding that the minister has brought.
That everything the minister is doing is his imagination. How can you speak like that? When there is evidence, documentary evidence, that the breaches didn't start in 2025. They started in 2019 when you were, no, she wasn't the High Commissioner then. She only went in 2021, I think. But before then, yes, she was not the ambassador in 2019. But clearly, these breaches happened at the mission. So you cannot speak and say that it's all in the head of the foreign minister. The foreign minister, I don't think, knew Fred Kwarteng. For you to attempt to suggest that maybe he was going after Fred Kwarteng. The foreign minister is foreign minister for Ghana. He's the face of Ghana.
2021, she went in 2021.
Yeah, she went in 2021. So he will want to present the best image of Ghana as possible. So he will not go on this adventure if it does not exist. So I think that she's roped herself into this issue, which suggests for me that maybe what we suspect is the case, where they say instructions from above, telephone calls from Ghana, WhatsApp messages from Ghana suggesting that maybe leave this gentleman alone. We know about these interferences, and sometimes it affects the work of public service officers. So Her Excellency Haji Alima has to come and tell us, what does she know about this whole thing, that she can put up such a defense and try to rubbish the findings of the minister? Kwarteng himself hasn't said that he didn't do what the minister says he has done. So why is Madam Alima taking it upon herself? We need to hear her out. We need to understand where she's coming from. Maybe she knows more than we know. As for me, as an administrator, once I see a query, I want to see a response. And so we need that response from the mission, the head of chancery who issued the query, And then we see how all of that sits within this report of the minister. But Ami, you know, most of our missions and embassies across the world come into some of these situations, sometimes through no fault of theirs. People are appointed ambassadors, people are appointed high commissioners, they get there. And Ghanaians living within the jurisdiction are coming and seeking for jobs. They want to do this, they have this qualification, they have this experience, they can do this job, they can do it very well. And so some of them get recruited to the missions. When people like Kwatin behave like this, it becomes a disincentive for future ambassadors and high commissioners to look at local, we call this category of staff, local staff, Ghanaians who are recruited within a regional jurisdiction. You know, you put the spotlight on everybody. And so you might deny someone who is genuine, who has integrity, an opportunity to serve their country in another way, and for the country to help you in whatever business or whatever endeavor that you are also undertaking. So I think that it's very, very important that this matter has come at this time, so that our high commissioners and ambassadors going out there to represent Ghana will keep their eyes very open and look closely, interrogate, review, do background checks on people who come to offer services to the
Now,
missions.
you having been a diplomat, having worked within that system, let me find out how the websites work. Because the minister also stated how experts had gone in to standardize all Ghanaian websites across the world, wherever we have a mission. And only that embassy, what's it called? Washington, D.C. disallowed. That's the only one that actually disallowed that work to be done. So until the whole investigation started, their website had not been touched because they will not allow. I think the management or whoever it was, did not allow for that website to be, touched. Like, because there were also complaints that the website was user unfriendly. So it sort of gave whoever third party, second party, the opportunity to be assisting other persons who are all Ghanaians, of course, who are unable to, use the website to make monies from it, because it's like and some interview I chanced upon, they will tell them that, if you go to the embassy, they won't even mind you. So don't even worry yourself to go. So they will take up that work of assistance and then charge them additional fees for the assistance they were providing. So I just want to know how it is supposed to be, because websites of such nature is supposed to be user-friendly for the lowest person who probably doesn't even know how to use IT.
Exactly, Annie. And until up to the point where I left London, I think the UK website, visa application, passport application, were very, very, very user-friendly. We didn't have any issues about people not able to utilize the website for the purpose for which it was set up. So we didn't have that experience. In the UK, for example, the only issues that came from the consular section mainly were long queues when people had to go in and provide their biometrics, and so arrangements had to be made to contain them. But there were no issues and no complaints about the website. But if the Washington mission will not allow their IT system to be roped into the national agreed system, that already raises a red flag. Why would they? Who were the decision makers at the mission at that time? Who were the decision makers? At the mission, we have the ambassador, we have the head of chancery, who is the head of administration, and who is usually a career diplomat from the foreign ministry. We have the research and development officer who has oversight over consular services. So at what point and who decided that they will not bring Washington on board? Maybe that will solve this whole puzzle.
Okay.
Who was in charge? These decisions will be made by the ministry in Ghana, by the head of Chancery and the head of welfare, plus the ambassador. They are the 4 key people who make such decisions. So at what point did Washington refuse to be included in the rollout of the plan for the entire missions across the world? What was their reason?
Okay.
Why did the foreign ministry oblige them? The foreign ministry has control and responsibility for all the missions across the country. Why would the foreign ministry oblige Washington to be excluded from this rollout? Could it be that they were aware of this? Could it be that they were part of the syndicate? Is that the reason that we need to create space so that this particular activity can go on? These are the answers that we need. And I think that, yes, we are very happy that the mission has reopened to continue to offer service to Ghanaians. But certainly this investigation must not end. Actually, I think this is the beginning. Yeah. Okay. I think this is the beginning. We must get to the bottom of this matter.
Doc.
So, there's been a lot of speculation, if this, if that, but very little evidence. So I would like to stay on the side of caution in this matter. Whatever they want to investigate should be investigated, and it should be brought out for the people of Ghana to know. But we cannot sit here and create the impression of some collusion when we do not even understand the full facts of the matter. I've been looking at the letter that you sent for a very long time, and it does not even say what was added to the website. Was it a link to help them with the visa application, or was it for the courier service? So what was it about? And as Honorable said...
You mean the query letter?
Yes.
The query?
Yes, it just reads, it has come to the notice of the management of the embassy that in September 2019, you modified the embassy's website in respect of visa passport acquisition process without the necessary expert approval. That's all it says. It doesn't say if the editing was to put a link for the Goro Boy kind service, because that's what I'm understanding of it, help with filling out the forms or something.
It's a query letter.
Yeah, so is it for that, or is it for the courier service? They seem like two different situations, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if you tampered with the website, as a query letter, it's not really supposed to give you so much details.
But yes,
I mean,
we cannot take
professional administrator, maybe you can assist me.
Yeah, we cannot take this letter to mean that this query was with regards to the courier services. It doesn't say that.
Well, maybe on the face of it. On the face of it, okay, maybe.
It doesn't say that. So we need more. We are just speculating.
You want to say that maybe this query was not necessarily related to those findings?
All I'm saying is that this query letter does not tell us what they are actually querying. We need more investigation to be able to take this as evidence of something like that.
But it can still be presented as an exhibit, because if he was queried in 2019 on the accusation that he had tampered.
Yes, so Annie, what is he being queried about? Did he tamper with this to add a link for his services to assist people fill forms, or was this for the courier service? That's all I'm asking.
Okay, but does it matter?
Yes.
No. If you've tampered with...
Yes, that alone is an offense.
My point.
That alone is an offense. But to take this and use this on the basis of the courier matter, we need to know if there's a link. We need to know if there was actually a purported service he was offering of assisting people, and was this in reference to that? This could mean anything. Granted, this in its own self is some form of illegality for a consular officer, but we cannot take this alone as fact. Another thing is we know the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, and respectfully, I don't think anybody would take his word as law anyway from now. I mean, I'm still waiting for him to resign after he confidently said he would resign if the president or the the vice president ever traveled on a private jet, but it recently happened. So, I mean, there are lots of things he said that he has not.
He said he will resign.
Oh, you haven't seen that video?
No.
Oh, no, let's play that video.
He did not say he will resign if the vice president.
He said
exactly.
He didn't say.
Tell me what he said.
No, what you said is not what he said.
So what did he say?
And also,
no, you are making a statement. So make the correct statement. Don't demand for me what you want to say.
There is a video of him on Adom FM.
Criticizing,
criticizing at that time. Please let me.
No.
Or you want to correct what and say what you said?
Because I don't want us to personalize this issue and do our usual Ghanaian thing of finding someone to beat up to clear them. No, the foreign minister is a foreign minister. We all know who he is. But this is an institutional issue that we are dealing with. So we need to address this matter within the context of it doesn't matter who the foreign minister is.
Yeah, but in her mind, the foreign minister doesn't have the credibility to pursue this institutional matter. That's what she does.
So let me explain what I mean. And Annie, it is on record. The video is here. You can play it. He said he will resign if anybody from his administration, the president or vice president, flew on, if they are to fly on a private jet. He said it. There's video evidence of that. So if you have anything to dispute, you bring. He said it. He hasn't resigned. There was this matter of chip-embedded, Honorable, please let me land. It will all make sense to you. There was this matter of chip-embedded passports that he claimed he had brought from heaven, heralded, fresh in Ghana. It was something that was done by the previous administration. All I'm saying is that we cannot take...
What was done by the previous administration?
The chip-embedded passports. No, there's also evidence of that.
I was on the Foreign Affairs Committee in the previous administration.
It was launched by Honorable Shelley Ayokoboche.
And then what happened?
Then you come up and relaunch it.
Hold on.
So he didn't relaunch it.
What happened after the launch?
Yes, he didn't relaunch it.
I think even the president got his first passport. Then you come in and you try to purport to the people of Ghana that you are now bringing this matter.
No.
So
by
now
my records,
we have
as a reporter, as a common reporter.
Tell me what.
Please, it was launched. What was issued?
The president got his first passport. I think even Honorable Samuel Abujinapo got his first passport. There's evidence of this.
You are saying you think.
No, you can cross-check. The president got his passport.
Okay.
So I'm saying that we heard the former ambassador to the US, Haji Alima. Why are we not taking her word for it? That's the point I'm trying to prove. You are asking that we take the word of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs as gospel. And that is what I'm saying, is that we cannot just take his word as gospel. He said he has forwarded all this information to Iyoko and the Attorney General for an investigation. We'll wait for the results of that investigation. But I've given you reasons why me and a lot of people in Ghana would not take what he says as gospel. I've given you a lot of instances and reasons why we can't take his word as gospel. There's even an issue of when he said Nanado's daughters had bought some government lands. That also turned out to be untrue. So I've given you about 3 instances that would put some credibility deficits on him. So if you are not going to take what the former US ambassador says as gospel as an explanation of the situation, then we cannot take the Honorable Foreign Affairs Minister's words as well. That's all I'm trying to say. And so we'll wait for the investigation.
Hold on. You are on a different path. I think I fairly played the minister's statement and fairly balanced it with what the former ambassador also said. I think no one, the 3 of us on this platform, is taking any of them statements as gospel. No one is doing that. We are only analyzing what has been put in public for us to analyze. And that's what we're doing. So it is factually incorrect.
How is it factually incorrect?
To say that if we say we're not taking the minister's word for, the ambassador's word for gospel as gospel, then we can't also take. Nobody's taking.
So you are saying that you are not taking.
I'm just saying that.
Okay, all right. No, but from her submission, it was maybe not you.
Correct
no. Maybe from her submission, it was quite obvious that she was basing her entire argument on the statement of the honorable minister, which is fair. I'm just saying that we cannot just take this one as the word of the Lord. We have to balance the two and wait till the facts of the matter come out. I was also very happy that she said that the supreme job of any foreign service or any embassy of the country is to provide consular services. And my question when all of this happened was that we all know that some of these embassies outsource some of the things that they do. Even in Ghana, VFS exists for a lot of these European embassies. Sometimes VFS also outsources some of their services. So let's not behave like it is very strange for the US Embassy to have outsourced its courier service. If there's a problem of conflict of interest or whatever, I'm sure the relevant investigative bodies will go through it and the truth will come out there. But let's not make it seem like it's some crime for the government of Ghana, or as it is the embassy in the US, to outsource the courier services. I don't see any problem with that. And the job was getting done. Recently, after the US Embassy was closed, there have been videos everywhere, I don't know if you've seen it, of Ghanaians complaining that their passports have been mailed to other people, and there's a lot of confusion and chaos going on there. So obviously, this whole matter has not only exposed some of the problems we have in our foreign service, but it has also exposed the foreign minister in his handling of the matter by closing the embassy, and I don't know how the courier service is being run now. Because not only were these passports delayed for weeks, longer than the people have been used to, some people's passports were sent to wrong addresses, which is a very serious problem. You know everything that your passport can be used for, and especially in the US. A passport can basically be used for anything, opening a bank account and everything. And we are in this era of serious fraud and whatnot. So it's a serious indictment that the government of Ghana, through its Foreign Affairs Ministry and this embassy in the US, is able to mail passports to the wrong individuals. To me, that's a very serious breach that also needs to be addressed.
So there was a statement that generated a bit of some debate amongst the three of us. I'm just having clarity from the Foreign Ministry, and it says that work started on chip-embedded passports since 2010. Work started on chip-embedded passports since 2010, following the ICAO's, we pronounce it in a certain way. I don't want to do that. So ICAO's new requirements. The Mills Mahama and Akufo-Addo administration all did some work. So at the mass rollout of the chip-embedded passports on April 28, 2025, the Foreign Minister, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, and other speakers acknowledged this fact.
That's right.
On that day,
they
acknowledged the fact.
That's
okay.
Right.
So Akufo-Addo did a chip-embedded passport launch in the last days of his tenure in December 2024. Now, despite the launch, Ghana was not ready. Copies were not available. And only the old passports were available for Ghanaians when they applied for passports.
That's right.
In this new management, it's the new government which has made it possible for the chip-embedded passports to now be available for all Ghanaians. Right. The current mass rollout, if there's a record of Nanado receiving the chip, let me know. So read it for us. So
I expect the Foreign Affairs Minister to come out and be absolutely clear about this. This launch of Nanado's
let me finish. You read that. The mass rollouts of the chip-embedded passports had never happened in Ghana's history. Those claiming this is false should produce copies of the chip-embedded passports. And it is also important to note that what's happening now is not just a chip-embedded passport rollout, but a much bigger package of major reforms in passports administration. Exactly. These reforms include the historic courier delivery, e-tracking of passports delivery under 15 days, and 24-hour operation of the passport head office. With these reforms, Ghana will no longer have to grapple with the phenomenon of uncollected passports and needless frustration. Remember, the minister met over 70,000 uncollected passports when he took office. The facts are obvious for all the
which he's still having trouble distributing.
So let me source in the foreign ministry.
Yes, and let me tell you, the chip-embedded passport was launched somewhere December 2nd, 2024. It's very typical of our brothers in the NDC. When something happens now in their government, when it is bad, they will quickly say it's MPP. When it's good, it's in the 5 months that they've magically brought it up. But everybody in this country, we all saw when the launching of this chip-embedded passport was done. And the president received the first copy. It was in December. Had we retained power, by the time that he came into office and has started distributing, it would have happened. So the rollouts, the larger rollouts. The larger rollouts. You cannot come and pretend
hold on.
It didn't exist and then you brought it. That's the problem, Annie.
In the statement that I've received, The person said, at the mass rollouts of the chip-embedded passport on April 28, 2025, the Foreign Minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, and other speakers acknowledged. No one is debating you on what you're saying. Acknowledge the fact. And there's also the fact that the work started in 2010. You can't take that away that far.
But where's evidence of that work?
No,
a lot
Annie,
of work on this chip embedded
passport
concern was done by the
former
Foreign Affairs Minister
to move away from discussing Washington and the corruption there.
You know,
and landed at Ghana and
we all know in this country. Okay, the Mahama case has been launched.
We
for
can
how
have a
long
discussion
now?
on the chip embedded passport at another time. But today, for God's sake, we are discussing Washington.
Yes, it was presented to him at the launch.
You know, I was a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the 8th Parliament when the Honorable Shirley Ayokobuche was the Foreign Minister. And I know the number of times she came before the committee. And I know the number of times we raised the issue of the chip-embedded passport and what the progress was. She always tried to update us on how much progress they were. And I know at that time, the current Foreign Minister, Honorable Okudzeto-Ablakwa, was the ranking of our...
what's the picture there? Is it Nanado's chip-embedded passport?
Of the Foreign Affairs.
Oh, that's it.
Like you are showing the picture, Annie. How will I know?
I'm asking for confirmation.
This is the launch of the chip-embedded passports. This was the launch that he did in December. That I can confirm.
So there was a launch, but there was no rollout. So is the Foreign Minister now supposed to come and sit back and not talk about the
rollout?
Because there was a launch? No. You know, it's been work in progress, as the note said, from 2010. So at every stage, we needed a report, especially the Foreign Affairs Committee. If you asked Madame Ayokobuche, the number of times she had to appear before the committee, and it's not because we were trying to stall it. We were trying to get it out. We were trying to get it working. So no one is here talking about who, you know, and that's the bane of our politics, Annie. Who did what? Credit is so unnecessary. And that's the point I made earlier on. Whatever we do, and if we are doing it for the people of Ghana, we don't care who does it. If the people of Ghana need chip-embedded passports, it doesn't matter whether Shirley Ayokobuche did it or Okudzeto-Ablakwa did it. So the most important thing is we've got the chip. So this is what AI says. You know, so
this is what AI says.
Yeah.
In 2010, Ghana introduced biometric passports, which included a chip for storing biometric data. And but for, you remember, I think when Hannah Tete,
Hannah Tete, then Foreign Minister.
That's when she actually launched the biometric passports. But for the full implementation of a chip, embedded passports, including features like facial recognition and fingerprints, was finalized and rolled out in April 2025. So the process...
Exactly.
No,
it's a process.
See,
it didn't start today like picking this cap and putting it here.
They tell you it started some time ago. But before the proper accumulation started, the whole country, since the inception of Ghana, had about 8 tons. And in a matter of 2 years, it goes to 30 tons. So it's obvious that somebody deliberately...
When did we start accruing gold, storing gold?
I'm saying before 2022. Before
when did Ghana start reserving gold?
From the inception of Ghana till 2022,
so
where the domestic gold purchase program was started, it was 8. Then from 2022 till now, we have over 30. So if you look at it, it is one person that deliberately started accumulating it. But to throw that off and to throw dust into that argument, they come and say that we started accumulating it a long time. It's the same thing that's happening with this chip embedded passport.
So
and to me, it's neither here nor there.
Wait.
If something has been launched, what is the point? Why can't you just roll it out? What is the point of rolling it out?
So that is your issue, therefore.
Analogy. You're saying that the difference is that someone deliberately.
No, let me ask you one question.
Is that the word that's making the difference?
You're asking me a question, so let me also ask you a question. So if
you can't ask me a question,
to answer your question, if we gained independence somewhere in the 1950s, so if from there to 2022, how many years is that? we only accumulated 8 tons. At what rate would it take us to accumulate 22 tons? I'm sure the people watching are probably better at math, but you can just imagine that it would take so many years, probably another century before we would have gotten to the 30. So it took someone to sit down and say, no, now let's accumulate gold. That's the point I'm making. But to throw dust into the deliberate effort the person did. And you know, I started by saying that the NDC is quick to everything bad that they inherit now. They are quick to blame
kindly
the
remind
previous.
Her, and if I had a way, I will pick it up.
To blame
What's
the previous government.
Honorable Che Mesa Bunsu said about the gold board.
Anything, we're not talking about gold board. We are talking about gold for reserve. And Honorable, please let me land. You are talking about me.
No, you've managed to disrupt the whole discussion.
I was saying, what was
That's what you've done.
You are distracted yourself.
No.
Yes, seriously. You
interrupted
me. No. You know.
So we are talking. You go and have another event at the cost of taxpayers to launch.
Very
the
important.
Passport. Again,
Very,
when
very
it has been
important.
launched less than 5 months ago.
Very,
what is the motive of that? When
Shelia Yokoboche launched in December and issued President Akufo-Addo the sample passport. Who else received a passport in this country? Good. So it took that time is what we celebrated in April. Now you come back to the same point.
You are rolling it out.
You come back to the same point, my dear. Very important.
You launched it again.
Extremely important.
To project to the people of Ghana.
Extremely important. Very important.
But it has become the modus operandi of the NDC.
No Ghanaian knew about the chip embedded passport until April when it was launched. No one knew.
One officer did in the consulate there. It is not MPP or NDC. When you started, you said it was a mess we brought. So if it's bad, MPP is a mess MPP brought. But if we are benefiting from something positive the MPP administration did, then we shouldn't talk about
MPP administration. MPP was not in power in 2010.
No, what? So are you saying that the chip embedded passport was not in power in 2010?
Maybe you are confused about your dates and timelines.
You can talk about the beginning of biometric processes.
In 2010, it was an NDC administration.
No, it was the biometric process that started.
That is what led gradually. And I'm telling you that even in 2010, even between 2021 and 2024, our ranking, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa was the one leading and pushing the foreign ministry.
What are you talking about? Between 2010 and 2016, you couldn't issue one single passport. What is wrong?
It started in 2010.
Let me take a breather. I'm going to make, follow up with the foreign ministry to get a chip embedded passport. I'll be back shortly.
Car Center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadam Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix, Wukwainso Nyonko Papa.
Wabedum, time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her. Oh, dish. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Eji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral? At to phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share Nanda Daya was mosquito call is to do a munumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima a dronum and sana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Smart, smooth, interactive, and a built-in Android active panel. Made for modern work and home. For corporate clients and university students, enjoy top quality 10th generation Toshiba laptops built for performance, power, clarity, and speed. All in one desktop. At Mycom JA Computers, get a laptop for as low as 1,000 Ghana cedis. All products are imported from the USA with a 1-year warranty. Visit Mycom JA Computers today and elevate your tech.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
Where to get polytank?
Oh, and you're fine.
Go straight.
Oh, I want to left, right.
That's right. Ghana na ye wono. So when you do more, any data. Oh no! Abe, na here. Me pe polytank ato. Enu ti na menu ya ba yo tu pe ya be na ba yo. O fu ke bia, e de enjoy ye kura.
Akuya bulambo kotoman. Emu ha.
Like they take to my eyes. Go to the distributor and you give the original polytank. You get a sound?
Polytank. Papananka Sankasa.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Cal Charcoal Toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Cal Chocolate Toothpaste, Sankofa.
Yenchi, Cal Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukuro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakleku, which is a 15 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Come back into the studio. So I'm still here with Dr. Ekia Amwako, a member of the MPP, and also joined the, what's it called? The Constitutional Amendment Committee, you know, to... Oh, goodness. To take decisions for the party. You know who just texted me? Who? I don't like intimidation. I'm never intimidated. So whoever you think you are, Richard Ayagba, I'm sorry, you can't intimidate me.
What do Richard say? Richard, what's he saying?
Okay, let me read messages, okay? I still have the ambassador, the diplomat Zura still with me also in the studio. Salagasal people are greeting you. Okay, so Mansa Musa says, Annie, this Ghana embassy scandal, I'm surprised it is still being so political. Mr. Kofi Tonto is a well-known politician within the MPP fraternity. He recently said he actually did investigate the matter and found wrongdoings. He also said on Asempa Radio that he had he had to leave the embassy for his own sake. I think Metro TV will have to invite Mr. Kofi Tonto this week to explain what he knows. Good morning from Mansa Musa, Voice of London Radio UK. Okay. You know, Mansa Musa, thank you for the reminder. All right. Now, the ambassador was Edum Bewa before Alima Mahama took over. It was Edum Bewa. I actually read it before I went on break, but I wanted to, you know, talk about it after the break. So it was Edum Bewa who was the ambassador. But I think he also made certain claims on, I think on an interview, if I'm not, I stand to be corrected. I stand to be corrected. But I think he said he didn't know anything about sin. It's like that, something like that. Honorable Zura, you didn't see an interview like that? I should think so, unless he's not the one. But we'll check. So Honorable Edumbewa was the one who was the ambassador at the time. But also, I'll read this. So Richard, good morning to you. Now, the gentleman who is celebrating his birthday today, Mr. Kofi Chumbuafo.
Oh, really?
Yes, today is his birthday. Wow. Please give me his pictures before I read his message. Yesterday was J.J. Rawlinson's birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, that's 22nd June.
Yes.
But Mr. Kofi Chumbuafo is...
today?
Yes, today, 23rd June. Today he turns 56.
Wow.
He turns 56. So happy birthday, KTB. The man who was harassed by Yoko some time ago. The thing has pained him. Every time Yoko Mata comes out, he prays, you know what they did to me? Hey, Charlie. People are struggling. Anyway, so Mr. Kofi Chumbwafo, happy birthday to you, okay? But this is what he says. Good morning, Annie. The topic you introduced was fraud at the Ghana Embassy in Washington. Clearly, Madame Amwakon isn't interested in discussing the topic. She has therefore loudly and obnoxiously screamed down you and Hajia to skew the narrative. Please, if she cannot be demure enough to respect the nature of the program, give her a monologue and let Hajia go and spend her value time in a more productive way. Otherwise, people, please allow Hajia to also scream her down. But you, I'm getting disappointed. This is like screaming back. You know, when Akia started this show, she was always speaking a very demure, and people were calling me, Annie, who's this lady? All of a sudden, the girl is just on a different level. Oh, my goodness.
I think it's still very, very calm.
So, all right. So, okay. So, Kojo Chumbwafo. So, I actually, mentioned his name as Kofi Chum. Kofi Chum is his brother. So, if you meet anybody called Kofi Chumbwafo, he's in MPP. Yeah? Do you know him? Do you know Kofi Chumbwafo? You don't know him? Hey! Don't say it loud. Don't say it loudly at all. Keep it low.
There's Gifty too. Is she related to Gifty Chum? Oh, that's Chumankoso. Chumankofo.
No. He is like, it's him and the brother. I don't know if they have other siblings. I wouldn't know about it. But I know Kofi Chum and I know Kojo Chum. The one in NDC is Kojo Chumbwafo. Kojo Chumbwafo. Happy birthday to you.
NEIP.
Yeah. All right. No, so let me also read. Neil Ante van der Poel says that happy birthday to Kojo Chumbwafo. And we love him so much. We love him so much.
Tell me, I owe him birthday greetings. I say happy birthday. His birthday was 11 June.
Neil Ante van der Poel, yes, we wished him here on the platform.
I was out of the country.
Okay. He's in charge of the DRIP project.
DRIP, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Neil Ante van der Poel, belated happy birthday. Honorable Zoe said I should tell you belated happy. She owes you a gift.
Yeah.
Please, Bonica.
And we are so expecting a thank you for giving him the drip to oversee.
You want him to thank you?
For creating an office for him to come and
Neil Ante van der Poel, don't go there or he'll finish you.
There's nothing wrong with showing some gratitude, Annie.
So I think Honorable Atuahoy also celebrated his birthday somewhere last week. We forgot to wish him.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
But I remembered after the show.
After the show. Oh, okay.
So belated happy birthday to Atuahoy, one of the stalwarts of the NDC as well. And this one
happy
says,
birthday to you.
Musa Batwa says, Annie, Dr. Kwi Amwakon's desperate remarks sound as if she's lost something valuable in the market. And the reality is that Honorable Ablakwa has exposed a fraud that not only affects the people of Ghana locally, but affects the people of Ghana, the international reputation as well. So those behind this dubious contract must be held accountable. It's crucial for the NIB to investigate the matter, thoroughly to ensure the perpetrators face prosecution. And also happy birthday to Kojo Chumbwafo. And I wish him all the best.
Kojo is very popular.
Musa Batwa. Oh, very.
Yeah, Musa Batwa.
Very, very. So, guess what Honorable Neil Ante is saying? I also Kinky Party. I will come so.
Sure,
you cannot be inviting her on my show. I'll join her. I'll just be her handbag. And then we'll come. But lawyer Honorable Vincent Asefo as well is sending her greetings, his greetings to you all.
Oh, my regards to you.
Yes, Vincent Asefo, good morning to you as well. It's been a while. I haven't spoken to you in a long while. Please, I need to speak to you. Something is happening.
Hey.
So I need to speak to you on that. Seth is saying that, good morning, Annie. The chip embedded passport was not launched on April 28th. It was launched by Chief of Staff Julius Debra and was a mass distribution of chip embedded passports. Some colleague journalists on the day and others went through the process and now have their chip-embedded passports. On the same day, Equia is just refusing to accept the fact that the chip-embedded passports was relaunched by this government in April. I was at the program, and the emphasis was on the distribution of the chip-embedded passport through Ghana Post. Okay.
But you just said it was relaunched yourself,
Thank you.
Seth. That's all I said.
No, he said it. He said the emphasis was on distribution.
No, reach the whole thing he said. He said it was relaunched. And now you are adding emphasis on distribution.
Simon,
we have no problem with the relaunch. Just
don't worry, we are talking about the
credit.
embassy, Ghana embassy fraud. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That chip is in. It's okay. It's okay. So Simon from Parliament says that, good morning, Annie. Tell Madam Equia, who created the Common Fund, Data Content, Get Fund, and Exim Bank, didn't the MPP appoint members to those institutions? Ghana. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. But please tell Equia that please tell Equia to say a big hello to her father. He is a gentle soul. So Kojo Chumbuafo is reminding you. Please do so.
Oh, I will. I definitely will.
2 minutes. Go now.
I should go and call.
Say it now.
I'll send him a message.
Say it on TV.
Now, on TV.
To
your father.
Oh, I should say hello to you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Dad, you have
someone is not for words.
I promise. Someone is extending Kojo Chumbuafo. I think today is his birthday as well. Let me wish him a big happy birthday. Yes. Yeah. I spoke to Dad about you some time ago, and he had very kind words to say about you. So I will again tell him about your words this morning and our constant tussle on this show.
Kojo tussles with everybody. Once you come and the fact doesn't sit well with him, forget. You hear from him. Anyway, so let's delve into the issue of the MPP and give you some time, Equia, so that you update us. I think the heat is on. Today I've seen some graphic work. Brian Achampon's graphic work is out. So he's also, obviously, he's made it official. He's in the race. Brian Achampon, maybe my people will put it on the screen pretty shortly for you to see how it looks like. But I saw it on social media a few minutes ago. He has also joined the race officially. We know Kenneth Japan is on. We know, obviously, Dr. Baumia is on. Duchum has launched as well. And who else has launched? Nobody has launched again. So far, I'm only considering those who have launched, though. Not
they'll come into your
information.
They'll come into your DMs to say why you did add their day.
Well, you haven't launched. And as I'm sitting here, I'm only picking on official statements. So
that's fair.
Yeah, Equia.
Yes.
Why are you building from the lintel of the building to the foundation?
It's not true that we are building from the top to the down at all.
You've heard that criticism?
Yes, I've heard that criticism. I've heard so many people criticize this without even first seeking to understand what we are trying to do. Let me put this here on record and to comfort anybody watching at this point, that we are not doing the party structure election from the top down. If you look at the constitution of the New Patriotic Party, the party structure election, the presidential primary and the parliamentary primaries are different elections. The presidential primary is a separate election that is guided by Article 13 of our Constitution. The parliamentary primary is also separate, guided by Article 12.
I'm sorry not to cut you, but if you have the Daily Statesman paper, can you just put it on the screen? The Daily Statesman, my team. Vanessa, if you have the Daily Statesman, I don't know, newspaper, I don't know where I put it. Okay, it's here. But you can just hoist it on the screen for you to have maybe just a snapshot. Okay, because this is how it looks like. We have Kennedy Japan there. We have Baumia there. And we have Brian Achampon also there. Please forget the Bank of Ghana governor sacking people. He's not part of the race.
It's also very important that he's sacking people.
No, but he's not part of the race. I'm talking about MPP. Okay. Or there are, aspirants in 100 people who were sacked.
No.
Okay. Then
probably, you never know, it's MPP.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, so as I was saying, it's not like that. I think there's been like a deliberate attempt to muddy a very sensible strategy we proposed. I would like to assure people, all MPP members, all patriots, that this was not done in bad faith. This took very long hours. We worked on this for over 6 weeks, sitting around the table every day, bantering and speaking to each other to come to a consensus. We received over 300 proposals from the rank and file of the party, and we had to go over all these proposals to tease out what would work best for the party. And at every time, what was at the forefront of our mind was what was in the best interest of the party. So they should perish the thought that this is done to help candidate A or candidate B. It is not like that. If you look at it critically, you will see that all this approach does is to give whoever is elected a very solid footing to begin his campaign for 2028.
By using 6 months to campaign?
Yes.
6 months to campaign?
Yes. Do you need 1 year to campaign for an internal
election?
But
at some point, you stop them from campaigning and ask them not to make comments.
But constitution. You are given 6 months.
Or disadvantageously, Dr. Bawumia was with a thank you tour.
Yes.
And had been with you throughout the country, leading the tour.
Incumbency has an advantage. Incumbency anywhere.
How did he become incumbent? After election, he is not.
No, but
he's not the leader of the party.
That's what I mean by incumbent. He's the immediate past flag bearer. So he has that. He had to go on it. Even with going on a thank you tour became a problem that people were complaining about.
Okay. The party has a constitution. After elections, the party chairman takes over.
That's actually not in the constitution, but let me just...
No, I'm saying that after election, the party chairman takes over the party as the leader.
And I'm saying even that is not something that is there. But what I was saying was that, you were talking about him going on the thank you tour and this and that. And I'm saying that they are definitely...
The thank you tour was not by Dr. Bawumia.
Oh, it was the party's
thank you tour.
Led by the flag bearer, because he was on the ballots. Let's allow me land. Nanado also went for a thank you tour. Let's not forget this. This action of going on a thank you tour is not new. This is not the first time it happened. So what I'm saying is that obviously there will be an advantage to being the flag bearer, the immediate past flag bearer. There's an advantage there. Per the constitution of the MPP, you are given 6 months notice. You have to give the party people 6 months notice. You have to give the aspirants 6 months notice. And in about a month, you close after filing and all of that. They're actually given 3 months to campaign. So it's not a problem that's not a problem at all. And the goal for the party is not just to do an internal primary, finish a flag bearership, and then we are on the wrong foot for Victory 2028. The goal of the party, all that we were thinking about, was how do we reorganize to be able to put our best foot forward for 2028. We all know what has been happening here, even looking at the direction you were going on with the thank you tour, and I'm sure it was fueled by a lot of criticisms that something as simple as a thank you tour for the MPP garnered. And it was all because of this internal anarchy and chaos over who becomes the next flag bearer. So isn't the wisest thing to do to get that election out of the way? How does that spoil anything?
But you are saying that's the wisest. It's not the same thoughts other members of the party are thinking.
No, and I'm telling you, majority members of the party agree with this. This decision was not made by the committee. This decision was not made by...
How did you determine the majority?
The decision was made by the National Council of the party.
Yes, but how did you determine the majority members of the party?
Let me land. The National Council of the party consists of, it's a large body, it's maybe about 70 to 100 people, rank and file of representatives from regions, regional chairmen, blah, blah, blah. It is literally the beating heart of the party. The proposal, the recommendation was tabled there. And I can tell you in confidence that there was a large majority, a whopping majority at National Council saw the need to bring sanity and unity into the party. And we all saw that the best way to achieve that is to get the presidential primaries out of the way and as quickly as possible to reduce the acrimony, and so that after that we have enough time to unite and to galvanize our base together and move forward. We also know, like, in which country is a power vacuum entertained? We all know our brothers in the UK, the Conservative Party. They lost power in July last year. By December this year, they had a leader. That's barely 7 months. So why should we wait for 2 years and everything, especially knowing everything we saw in the last election? His Excellency John Mahama was elected way before Dr. Bawumia. He had an opportunity to sell himself and and worm his heart into the hearts of Ghanaians a very long time before we elected our flag bearer, and he could also start getting introduced and selling himself and gaining the trust indeed of the people of Ghana. Because the job of president is not an easy one. You have to let the Ghanaian people trust and believe in you, and that will take some time. So what is the problem? If the party has decided that we want to be able to give whoever wins the opportunity to have enough time to be able to explain themselves and sell themselves to the people of Ghana so that we have a better chance for 2028. I haven't heard any argument against this thing that even deserves a response from me. I don't know if you've heard anything that you want me to respond to.
Yeah.
It's always based on sentiments and what's not. And I'm explaining here that this approach does not give an advantage to anybody. Still, it is over 200,000 delegates that are going to vote. No matter how we do it, it's over 200,000 delegates that are going to vote. It's not a small number of people. And they are not people that are malleable or any, it's people that know what they are about and people that will listen and do the best thing for the party. So whether we do it now or we do it later, which is going to present whoever is elected as a disadvantage, what is the problem? It doesn't provide any advantage to anybody. The only advantage it does is whoever is elected after that has a better footing. But now, in this current contest, it doesn't put anybody above anybody. And I've not had any argument to buttress the point of how the system will put any candidate above the other.
What made you write this? I absolutely agree with you. But here we have a candidate publicly flouting a party's directive to not campaign. Launching an absolutely brainless attack. We will not sit aloof.
That post has been taken down. I wonder who sent it to you.
Someone sent it to me.
Yes,
I don't have the permission to mention his name.
Yes, so I will not respond to that. It's been taken down.
Who took it down?
I took it down. It's my post.
Why did you take it down?
Because it had served its purpose. It's my wall. I decide what to put up.
What purpose was it supposed to serve?
I'm not answering that question.
Well, but unfortunately, I think it has gotten to people who you don't expect it will get to them.
Okay, so what question are they? What's their question on the post?
What purpose was it supposed to serve?
Because here it was a response to something. So I don't think the person sent you what I responded to.
No,
you can look at the nature
So I
of the
was even
post.
going to ask you, what were you responding to?
Yes, so I don't have the record. That's what I'm saying. It's been taken down. So it was a response to something. So since we don't have the full account.
But do you remember what you were responding to?
No.
You don't remember?
No, I don't
Are you
remember.
Sure you don't recall?
I don't remember.
But you recall you pulled it down?
Yes.
How is that possible?
My post I remember, but I don't remember exactly what it is I was responding to. But I can tell you what I was responding to deserved that response.
I see. Do you want me to read it again?
You can read. I wrote it. I stand by it. But I mean, we are in a point where we are trying to bring unity. So what's the point of the person sending
Well, what will
this?
you
What's he
stand by
asking?
what you wrote today, tomorrow, and forever, and you pull it down?
Because I don't work in a vacuum. I work in a political party. So if something comes up and you're advised that for the sake of this and that, we don't want you to write that, well, I'm not about pulling it down. But I still don't understand the point of this. So the person wants you to ask me what so that I can respond.
No question was asked. The person just sent me the post.
So for what purpose? What does the person...
You are making a submission.
Yes. So how does this relate to my submission?
But if your submission is, I absolutely agree with you, but there was... Here, we have a candidate publicly flouting the party's directive not to campaign, launching an absolute brainless attack. We will not sit aloof. That's an insult.
How does this have to, what does this have to do?
It's an insult.
So what's the point of this, Annie? What does this have to do with the question I was answering?
You were obviously in your post insulting or attacking a party's, I don't know, whoever was launching a campaign or whatever.
It was in response to something. And it's, if you look at it carefully, I don't see how it's an insult. It is, if you are what you are discussing, if what you are describing is brainless, brainless was in respect to the attack, not the person. Yes.
Okay.
It was in respect to the person, to the word, the attack, not the person. So I don't know what anybody stands to gain. And again, this exactly buttresses my point. I'm sure this is from a party person. We are sitting here talking about so many things. Galamsey is on the rise. There are so many things to hold the NDC accountable for. But a party person sees it right to send you this without a response while I'm on set defending the MPP.
That party also deems it right to put his home in order before he can actually
yes,
launch
so
into
this is
another
what
home.
we are doing, to try and put our home in order. But till we elect the leader, factions or supporters of various candidates are not going to stop coming at each other. But I don't see how this is relevant.
Okay.
I don't see how this is relevant.
Okay.
And this is exactly what we are trying to stop.
Okay.
So that means for about over a year, there will be a section of people in the party that will do everything they can to bring out the system of the party. We've seen so many attacks come out, the structure at the party, come at the leadership of the party, come at everybody in the party. And we want all of that to stop. And I'm quite happy that this happened
So this
here
is a
today.
question that's coming to you. Please ask her the membership of the National Council. You didn't add your name. Please ask her the membership of the National Council. Does she realize that the National Council acts on delegated powers of the National Conference of over 4,000 delegates? Our internal election processes are rooted in Constitution, and the National Council can't vary it via conference alone. Without first amending the party's constitution, the argument for top-bottom approach is moot.
Who sends this? Annie, so I'm very
name.
happy that this is already happening, because this is obviously everything that has happened here this morning is from a section of supporters of a certain candidate in the party. No, they would not take up the responsibility to come and sit on this platform and to have intellectual and effective debates with very qualified people from the NDC's path. They will not hold the fort of the MPP going forward. But whatever we try to do, you build 100 blocks and their best effort is to try and pull it down. Sitting here and with everything that has happened, do you agree that the best thing for us to do is to get this out of the way so that we can then become one people and move forward?
Okay.
Just even from what has happened, and I'll answer the question with the constitution of the party. As I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there. As I told you, Article 13 guides the presidential primary of the party. I'm going to read 13.1 for you. The election of the party's presidential candidate shall be held not later than 24 months from the date of the national election. The date and venue for the election shall be decided by the National Council, provided, however, that the National Council may, on appropriate occasion, vary the dates. So it's very clear here that the National Council of the party
can vary the dates.
No, they have the responsibility to set the time. And then the time frame is not later than 24 months before. So we are within that. So I don't know what all of this is about.
Yes, but the point this person was making is that he said, does she realize that the National Council acts on delegated powers from the National Conference, over 40,000 delegates?
Where in the MPP
your internal election processes are rooted in the Constitution, and National Council can't vary it, but via conference alone, without first amending
It's okay.
Now he can't
ask him
say,
to quote the article in the Constitution where he's referencing.
The party doesn't want any dissenting voices. Tell her Article 10, conjunctively with Article 13. So conjunct Article 10 with 13, and maybe you have a constitution read. But let me add some more. Let me add some more. This one, Guy G sent it to me. He said, kindly inform Ikia Mwako, who was part of the MPP Amendment Committee, to communicate in an open and truthful way that that's constructive and respectful, irrespective of her bias towards Dr. Baumia. How could you say a presidential candidate is launching an absolutely brainless attack? She's a young lady in a game of politics, and she should tread cautiously. Gaji from Cantonment. Okay, so he's actually speaking from what I read earlier. So there's a post of, I think yours he sent. He says that Dr. Kennedy Japan could not deliver his own seat in 2024. Why on earth should the entire MPP be handed over to him?
Yes, that's also an insult. I don't understand what's going on.
No, I think this one, he's just trying to point out your bias.
No, so I don't understand. Point out my bias as a party person who is sitting here representing the party. I don't know if everybody's seeing the absolute madness that's already happening here just on the show.
But you see, if they see a clear bias of you, a clear bias of yours towards a particular flag bearer, and then you are also the same person defending the decision of the party that is more like a conflict of interest for them, and it's unfair to them. That's why they would say that the decision of the party from the top, bottom, down approach, whatever it is to the benefit of one flag bearer, which is Dr.
Let me explain. I've already told you that it's the same electoral college. It is an expanded electoral college. It's the same electoral college that Honorable Kennedy Japon used 2 years ago or something, and after he said he was convinced that the result of the election was clean. It was the same electoral college, and it's the same electoral college now. Okay. The Constitution Amendment Committee is a committee of 9 people, astute people. I was the youngest person. When this post that they are trying to use was even brought up, the job of the committee was done. Everybody in the party has a right to support whoever it is they want to support. So you cannot say that there's a bias. Yeah. I already sat here and I told you that no decision was even unanimous. It was, I'm talking about the committee level now. Everything was reached out after a lot of back and forth and trying to decide what is best for the party. I also said that after the committee's report, this decision was brought to National Council. You said, let me give you the composition of National Council. It is the National Executive Committee of the party. That's all the national officers, blah, blah, blah. Council of Elders, 20 reps from Parliament. There are the regional reps there, the regional chairman, regional secretary. It's a large body. They all debated this matter and came to a conclusion. So even if you want to say that because I worked for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during the last election, from what I said, how do you say that? How do you determine my bias? I could be working for Honorable Brian Echampong. In fact, I think he's a fine gentleman. I could be seeking for Honorable Brian Echampong. Someone said something. There was a post that I responded to. And if you saw how unpalatable that post I responded to was, you would understand. And if you read my response, my point was from the position of the party.
You may be supporting this one.
I'm just saying, you cannot say that because I questioned somebody, I'm supporting A. What about B? I could be for Honorable Brian Echampong. Okay. And I said the directive from the party was that nobody. The Pandora's box.
Listen first. You like what I'm going to say, Sha. Listen. Someone says Annie. No, in fact, the person calls me Ifwa. He says Ifwa, you're not being fair to Dr. Kiamako. I agree. I'm not being fair to you.
So let me land.
So let's cut it.
No, you've opened Pandora's
box. Oh no,
so
your time is up.
Let me explain it well because Annie, it's very important that you allow me to explain.
No, land.
So if you go against the directive of the party and you go and do something, and in that campaign you actually go a little beyond to throw around some comments that we find will bring the image of the entire party into disrepute, I have every right as a member of the party to vent my frustration. You might not be happy with how far I went, but to use that to try and paint me with some bias and then immediately attach a particular candidate as that direction of that bias, it doesn't hold any water. I could be, my favorite candidate or my prepared candidate could be Honorable Educhum. It could be Honorable Brian Echampong. It could be Joe Gate. It could be anybody.
Had Joe Gate declared?
No, I'm just saying because he contested the first time. It could be anybody. And to the people saying that this decision is a matter of conference, they obviously have not taken as much time as I have to go through our constitution. I can tell you everything.
Yeah, actually, one of the texts says that you have to read the constitution holistically.
And I'm telling you that.
And do you know that National Council can't impose recommendations on conference?
I'm telling you as a matter of fact that I know everything in Article 10 of the Constitution. It talks about the national structure of the party. And in Article 13, as I read for you, it clearly stipulates who has the authority to set the date for the election. It is a council matter, and it was at council that it was decided unanimously. And since they want to push, there was only one person that dissented against the motion for the early presidential primary. Out of over 100 people in there, only one. So how do you, based on that, try and create an impression?
Okay, my time is up.
There's a group of people that just want to create chaos. Okay. And that is what we want to end by having the early presidential primary.
But this one, somebody matter 2 minutes.
Yeah, but before I go to the NPP and their somersaulting effects, you read one of the comments. Was it from Kofi Tonto? Yeah. Who said that?
No, Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa. Yeah. So clearly.
Yeah, he was talking about Kofi Tonto's comments on this development.
Good. And Kofi Tonto was the head of information.
Yes.
So clearly, at that time, he declared the Washington mission a crime scene. And no one was allowed in. That must be investigated to the end. We have to understand what happened.
In fact, Kofi can assist.
Yeah, exactly. Because, So now we on the MPP and flag bearership, primaries, and yeah, clearly, if you look at the tenets of democracy, Annie, what is it? It's basically, after everything is said, it's the power by the people, to rule by the people. And so if our brothers in the MPP find it convenient to relegate the people to the background and do a top-down approach to democracy, and you heard Ikuya, the example she gave was the UK. The UK Conservative Party lost elections in July. They've already elected a leader. It's as if to suggest, and I already told you about the UK, look at the template. In 15 years, it's like every other year, there must be a new prime minister. Yeah. That cannot be democracy. And if that is the watch book of the MPP, then clearly they are heading into a crisis. That cannot be democracy. Where because it's a democracy, everybody must be president. Everybody can be president. So everybody should be allowed to become president. No. No. It is the power of the people. The people must want you to be president. So if you skew the system, in order that you become president.
But all the executives have spoken, and they're saying that they're not skewing any. I mean, it's our own imagination.
Annie, in the 2020 election, the NDC, we had our presidential primaries in February 2019. In the current election that just went past, we only had our presidential primaries on 13th May 2023. You know, democracy is a very, very complicated process. That even in opposition, you are part of government. You have to allow the government to work. So we in the NDC, we don't have any qualms about what the MPP is seeking to do. But whatever they do, it must be inclusive. It must seek cohesion. There must be national unity. As for the NDC and President Mahama, we are focused on restoring the economic stability, improve health care, enhance education, and set a benchmark for good governance beyond political parties and politics. So the MPP should take a cue. But Annie, we in the NDC pray every day to Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Never give us the type of precedent that we had in Nana Akufo-Addo. For whatever happens, that we pray every day. So we can only wish the MPP well. Whatever they do, they must know. Last week, you know, I'm from Parliament, so I sit with my friends on the other side. And the sentiments from there is clearly moving to a certain direction. I can only wish them well and pray that happens because the Nana Akufo-Addo type of government we don't want.
Have you ever seen a house being built from the top to the down? Just to impose Dr. Baume on the party. Anyway, welcome, Dr. Baume. So this must stop. I'm sorry. Richard said I'm bullying you. Yes. Idi Muhayu says that, Annie, please allow Ekuya to flow. The decision of the National Council to fix the date for the presidential primaries is not subjected to ratification by...
Everything in the world revolves around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Enough of classroom memorization. Science must be practical. That is why the Quiz Talk is bringing Ghana's first ever National STEM Quiz. This program will spark the students' interest in STEM. Science, of course, is the mother of all creation. Starting from creation itself, from the plants to the animals, everything you see is about careers drive modern economies. From engineering and medicine to software development and space exploration.
Engineering combines both science and technology to solve various problems.